All right, thank you so much for sticking with us. We continue with this conversation this fine Monday morning. My name is Aguko. This is still Good Morning Kenya. Thank you for sticking with us. And of course, it's all about matters concerning technology. This is Technology Monday. And this morning, it's all about the changing trends and tides in education. How far are we when it comes to ensuring that we have new trends in the education system? One particular term I'd like you to note is international curriculum. I know you're used to, or you have been hearing the term competence-based curriculum. Now there's another, international curriculum. What is that all about? Also in this conversation, we shall tackle one interesting debate or conversation where we are introducing gaming in education. That's right, introducing gaming in education, how we can use gaming to ensure education is entertaining and at the same time understandable. How does it work using technology? This morning, ladies and gentlemen, I am with none other than Oscar Sitati, the director for Laser Learning Hub. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And first things first, Oscar, we're talking about international curriculum. Just by definition, from the layman's language, for somebody who's watching it today who doesn't understand this, what exactly are we looking into here?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. So in international curriculum, there are several international curricula that have that are being offered in Kenya, although basically they are based in either in the US or in the UK. Take for example the British national curriculum, where we have two separate curriculum. Both of them are being offered in Kenya. We have the Cambridge curriculum, which is more broader. Then we have the Edexcel curriculum. Both of them, they fall under British national curriculum.
And still, are they different?
Yes, they're different in very small ways. You see, the way we would say 844 and CBC, both of them are Kenyan curricula. There's something different here and there, but
the approach.
Yeah, little approach, but mostly both British curriculums they are largely alike.
All right.
Then we have also American curricula. Actually, that's where we have quite a wide variety of curricula being offered in Kenya. Where you will find, for example, the ACE, the Accelerated Christian Education. Then we have classical curriculum, we have the Waldorf, we have quite a wide variety of American curriculum that one can choose from. So basically, for example, the British is normally called IGCSE. This is international, as the international certificate. When it is being offered in UK, it is just called GCSE because it is offered in the UK. Now, when it comes to this side, they call it international. So you can still be able to get your qualification in that curriculum, then proceed with your academics anywhere in the world where it is offered. Right here in Kenya, we have quite a number of universities that with your IGCSE certificate, you just get in and do your course like any other regular, somebody with a KCSE certificate. Yes.
And we are seeing that parents are now looking into this type of curriculum so that their children have a global perspective in terms of the education system. And do you feel like it's advantageous, this particular curriculum, compared to CBC? Should it even be compared to the CBC?
I would say, one, the CBC to a large extent is taking from the British curriculum. Take for example, in CBC our primary is running similarly from grade 1 to grade 6, then 7, 8, 9 as lower secondary, junior secondary, and then we go on just like the Cambridge curriculum. Now in the Cambridge curriculum, usually at year 6, which is like grade 6 equivalent, they do an exam that is called a checkpoint exam. That checkpoint exam is now what they use to get into grade 7, 8, 9, which is lower secondary. Similarly, as we call it, junior secondary in CBC. Similarly, you can see that they just picked the same concept of, it's not a must for you to sit that exam. It's not a qualification like it used to be in 844. You would score a certain number of marks and they will decide which high school you're going to. So CBC has come and has removed that. It's an assessment. It's called an assessment. It's no longer an exam.
It's no longer an exam. But now the international curriculum.
Yes,
still,
now it's the same again. Also, when they do a checkpoint exam at year 6, it is not a qualification. They just do it and then they continue to year 7, 8, 9. Talking of the advantages as you had asked, it's true as you state. First of all, a student becomes a global citizen. Such a way that a global student, such that I can be able to do my studies in Kenya, go and continue with it in South Africa, go and continue with it in the UK or in the US. So the qualification, the certificates I have are accepted world over. As one advantage of me doing international curriculum. But also fundamentally, what's different between the international curriculum and the Kenyan curriculum is how the learning is done. You will notice that more a student is trained how to think, which is what 844 missed, of course. We were supposed to know which year, for example, Kenya got independence, or I'm supposed to know parts of a leaf and then just go and write it. But in this other side, you are taught how to be able to reason. Like in Cambridge Maths, we have a whole paper for reasoning. It's a whole paper 2 is purely reasoning.
So that's mathematics.
That's mathematics. Reasoning. So can I be able to understand? Can I be able to understand that this, if this is the question, I should do some reasoning before I come to give the answer. We also have another paper that is called mental maths. Now, mental maths is this student is supposed to do all the computations mentally, and then just write the answer. You see, again, that is something which we miss.
Hold on. No calculator, no pen, no paper.
No calculator, no pen. Oh, no, there's a pen and paper for you to write your answer. But you see, you're supposed to do your work mentally. And we even have another one that is an oral paper where you ask the question and you're supposed to answer. Again, now no pen, no paper. That is just an oral. So do your calculations or get your answers mentally. And this trains the child to be able to exercise using the brain more. You know, the brain is a muscle. They say the same way you go to the gym and exercise your muscle, in the same way you should also exercise your mind.
In class.
Your creative thinking, your critical thinking, all those things.
Now, I'm looking at one interesting trend that is taking shape, especially in the country. Homeschooling.
True.
I'm seeing many parents are resorting to this, as opposed to, the conventional schooling system. Is this advantageous, and does it play a role in ensuring the growth and development of a child?
So it's true, as you say, homeschooling is catching up fast.
Exactly.
You see, all the time we were in school, when we were growing up, we knew. You are born to go to school. You're not supposed to be. You cannot stay at home and learn. Which Kenyan parent will let you do that?
You can, in fact, even if you have a dream,
just forget about it.
School first.
Wake up in the morning, go to school very early in the morning. Whether it's raining or not, you have to get to school.
Yeah.
You see, right now, parents realized, it's not a must that we go to a real school. I can get my 2-3 children, put them together, then bring in a teacher. Also, there is also the fact that now that if we are staying next to each other, we can be able to put our students together, like we are neighbors, 2-3 of us, we make a pod. Then, now the teacher comes and teaches the child from there. There are very many advantages of that. Of course, definitely there are downsides too. But some of the advantages of preferring to homeschool your child would be, number one, they get individualized attention, as opposed to just sitting in a class. The teacher comes and teaches. You see, I am a teacher. I've taught for 14 years. Most of this time I was teaching in a school. So when I enter into a class, definitely I have planned what I'm going to teach on that day. I have a lesson plan. So I just teach everybody what I have planned.
So there is no specificity for any particular child.
To say that this child doesn't understand this area, let me teach that, there is no opening for that. But now in homeschooling, I will know this student has a problem here.
Exactly.
This student needs this attention. Then I can zero in and even spend more time in that area until I make sure that they have got it.
But still, the syllabus will be covered.
The syllabus will be covered, actually. Now, you see, when you're doing individualized learning, you tend to cover more than we're doing classroom.
Yeah.
Look at the schooling system, the conventional schooling system as it is. You realize that a lot of time is wasted. We are going on assembly. We are going for meals where we queue. So you see, a large number of, quite a lot of time is wasted doing normal things or day-to-day things. But now in homeschooling, it is just me and the student. All the time that we have is utilized in learning.
Exactly.
So we cover more in half a day, actually. In half a day, you've covered more than they have covered in school.
But still, sorry to cut you short, even though you're covering this, doesn't that affect this child? Because the child is no longer interacting with fellow students. He's no longer playing around with the fellow kids. He's always in the house. Doesn't that interfere with his social adaptation, with his social environment?
So, just as I had mentioned, you see, everything in this world has the upside and the downside.
Okay.
So it's more of actually weighing what's more, the advantages, the pros or the cons.
Which one is heavier than the other?
Yeah, which is heavier than the other.
Put it on a scale.
What wins? So, as you put it rightly, there's a social aspect that will definitely take a beating, if not addressed, if not mitigated.
Yeah.
Now, usually, when you're doing homeschooling, you're kind of like having, like you're doing an experiment on a small space. So we can be able to regulate factors. Take, for example, socialization, or social interactions, as you put it. A parent would do this. There's a huge community of parents who are homeschooling right now. But what people may not know is that the flame of homeschooling has been catching. And right now there are several WhatsApp groups, big WhatsApp groups of many parents who are homeschooling their students.
And in fact, parents and teachers.
Yes, true. Parents and teachers, huge community. So on this community, we usually come together and say, we are doing sports on Friday.
Okay.
Then they all come. If you go on Friday when homeschoolers are meeting somewhere for sports, you'll be surprised. All these people, there are so many of them. Then they will organize for trips. We just say, we are going to National Museum. Then people sign up. In no time, we have like 50 kids showing up for the trip. Educational trips. We do other activities like gymnastics. They will do skating. They will do coding classes. So that's where they get to meet with the other students, interact with the other students, and have kind of like a community or social events.
So it depends on the structure that a parent has chosen to use for home-based learning.
True. If you choose to go home-based learning, then you have to be deliberate to cover the shortfalls. Which one of them, as you've said, is the socialization aspect. You must be able now to say, for me to get my child to be to interact socially with the others, then I have to include one other thing. Same as another important thing is healthy competition. Now, you know that, okay, when we were in school, you are ranked, you're going to be ranked. You're either going to be position 10 or 100 or whatever. So you know where you fall. Now, in this curriculum where we don't give positions, how do they handle competition? How do they handle losing?
Is that now the international curriculum or home-based learning?
You see, in home-based learning, we basically just teach one of the curriculum. Even if you want to do CBC and do it home-based, you'll do CBC.
Whichever curriculum?
Yes, whichever curriculum. So even this international curriculum, we do it in home-based learning. So we can just say home-based learning is a way of learning. But the curricula just stay the same. They stay the same. So, and now you see in CBC, we are not putting positions. We're not giving students positions.
Yes.
Same as in all international curriculum. It's not so much about who was first, who was second, who was 10th. So then how do you get to train your child to learn how to lose, to handle healthy competition? Because, right now, there's depression is quite a thing right now. And what used to be stress factors during our time or what used not to be stress factors during our time are now stress factors. Like somebody was in a competition and they were beaten. They become depressed. They become seriously stressed. They come home and tell you,
exactly.
Mom, I was stressed. Why? Because we did an exam and so defeated me.
I got a wrong on a particular question.
Yes, imagine. And you see this thing about, okay, let me finish this point first. So you see, then if you're doing homeschooling, you have to be deliberate on teaching now your child how to handle healthy competition. Realize that there's some things, somebody else will be better than you, and it is okay. There's something that you are better than them.
Exactly.
In this life, you're always good at one thing, and somebody else is good at the other. So, and now to the thing you just pointed out about getting it wrong.
Yes.
It's also another thing which is big in international curriculum. That even when teachers are teaching, a good number of international curriculum, you are not, the students don't get a wrong mark, which is, okay, somebody will discuss, somebody will say it's discouraging to see a wrong. The other one will say, oh, they should get a wrong and know that they are wrong. By personal opinion,
yes, I
don't want to say this is right or this is wrong, but my personal opinion.
But what you believe?
What I believe is there are several right ways of doing things. But definitely there are also wrong ways of doing things.
And we should acknowledge both ways.
Yes.
Acknowledge the right and the wrong.
And just tell me, I know here you're wrong. This method you use is not the best. So this way I will know, okay, if I use this method, I'm likely to get wrong results.
So putting an X on a particular question,
I
should
would
not
say
be a bad thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a bad thing. Just be a stress factor.
Just like putting a tick is a good...
The same way I enjoy the feeling of the tick, I should also just realize, hey, here I'm wrong. So I start avoiding these wrongs and I start getting the ticks. You see? So I would say also it should not make them not to shy away from being wrong. You see, in this life, by the way, they say that one of the greater mistakes would be trying not to make any. Trying not to make any mistake can actually be a mistake. Try, even if you get a mistake, you know I was wrong, so I try better. Yes,
I love what you say. In the same way you enjoy the tick, also enjoy the X.
Yes.
I love that. But now, Sitati, let's look at one interesting area here, because we're talking about ensuring that our children get the best form of education. And I love that you mentioned that social interaction is important, even for kids that are taking homeschooling. But there is something that is quite interesting that caught my attention. When parents hear that a child is on their computer playing a game, they'll be like, have you read the whole day? Have you taken time to study? You are on your gaming console. Have you taken time to study first? Study, then play the game. But here I'm looking at Mr. Sitati sitting with me today, and you're telling me you can use gaming as a form of education? How does that work?
You see, it's about now changing the scope of how learning used to happen to how can we harness a child's learning. I normally call it their mental genius. Getting a child to learn at their best at what they like. Now gaming comes in to just change the learning to be fun. So I do it because I actually want to do it. I'm not learning because, hey, it's class time, hey, open your books. You know how...
That is a must.
The books are sometimes get so boring. Having to open the books and have to flip the pages. Okay, it depends on a child's different learning style. Some may read that the written copies, but there are students who love the gaming. So I can be able to go onto an app and do math and get so good at my multiplication. All the time, I'm actually on my gadget. You see, for instance, and this is what we do basically at Laser Learning Hub. We try to get a child to be able to enjoy the learning process, such that this child tomorrow really wants to come and continue learning. They look forward to learning.
Now, does this game incorporate every subject so that we don't end up seeing a child always on their on the gaming system. I don't know. Does it have incorporations of every topic, every subject of every semester or term?
So there are different games. Actually, you would find that one game would be so nice for science, the other one would be so nice for math, the other one would be so nice for English. So different games teach different things. Take for instance, we have maths frame. Maths frame, you will get all the topics for all the levels that you need to teach your child in. So I'll specifically go there. Let's say I'm learning Roman numbers, I'm learning multiplication, I'm learning decimals. Then I just type in maths frame, then I go to decimals, then I choose one of the games that is there, then I can be able now to keep practicing with it. You see, take for example a game called arithmetic archery, which is on maths frame. It shoots a question, you kick the answer. You key in the answer. If you key in the correct answer, then at the end of it, you're going to do archery, that's shooting. So if you key in correct answers, then it will be moving slowly. So it is very easy for you to hit the bullseye.
So I'm trying to picture it. Huh?
Yes.
So let's go back to that game. So it's archery.
Yes, it's basically archery.
Archery.
Yes.
So there is a bullseye somewhere.
Yes.
And on the gaming system, I have that bow and arrow.
Yes.
Okay.
But before you get to it, now they shoot questions in the topic which you chose.
But mathematical questions.
Mathematical questions. So for whatever topic you have chosen, it will now shoot a question. Let's say, for example, for the lower levels, let's say you're doing multiplication tables. What is 7 times 4?
Yes.
Now you're supposed to click the answer. So if I click a wrong answer, you see, there's usually the focal point that is moving. So I'm supposed to wait until it gets near the bullseye, then I click. So if I get my the answers wrong to my questions, it will be moving very fast. It will be moving very fast, so it's very hard for you to get the bullseye. You see.
So the more you display the right, or you key in the right answers, the slower the bullseye.
Exactly.
The slower and the higher chances of shooting.
Chances of getting 100%.
But when you get the wrong answer, the bullseye starts moving around.
So fast. Exactly. So it becomes so hard for you to get it. So that is one. Let's come to, for example, hit the button. Hit the button is a game I really like it's for children between the age of 6 and 12.
It's called Hit the Button.
Hit the button, yeah. And by the way, it's important for me to mention that they are free games that anyone can access. They are not even limited to any curriculum, international or Kenyan. You see, multiplication, you know how you did multiplication when you were in school? You had to master your times tables, otherwise you will be in trouble.
I did. In fact, I had in our book we had the multiplication table at the back page. It was primary mathematics or something.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you're allowed to cheat or you're allowed to check or not. But you see now, for us, the teacher would come and say, tomorrow we're doing table 5.
Yes.
So the next day he comes and he shoots any question. He asks you 5 and 6. If you don't
I also went through that. Yes.
If you don't know, you're going to be in trouble. So you see, now it becomes something that as a student wants to go away from. But give them Hit the Button. It's a free site. You can go to Google and type Hit the Button, then access it. Now it gives you times tables, where now it shoots a question, you click an answer, shoots a question, you click an answer, and you're getting a score.
Wow.
So after 1 minute, it gives you a score. It tells you congratulations, brilliant work, all that kind of thing. That's what those words are what the students love.
And these are the changing trends in education.
Exactly.
Gaming.
So if I tell the student, if you score anything above 40, you get a reward. Wow. So the student will be trying to increase their speed so that they can be able to get the reward.
Now, because of time, let's now move quickly. How do you see us as a country moving forward with all these trends being put into consideration on the table? What's our future and the future of our education system?
So I would say we are working towards the right direction. CBC is redefined the 844 as it was. Definitely, it has some fundamental flaws, of course, which we are still waiting for the task force to do to recommend the changes. If you asked me, I would say it largely it is good, it's proper. It's bringing back the focus onto the skills, focus onto creative thinking. By the way, let me point out some few things that they are normally called core values in CBC.
Briefly.
One, they say critical thinking. It's an amazing thing. Creative thinking.
Yes.
Digital literacy. You needed to learn, when smartphones came, we needed to learn how to use them. But students now are doing even PowerPoint on their tablets. It's an advantage. Only that I would say they will just need to scale it down to reduce the amount of content that a child has to do. Doing so many subjects, all of them with huge syllabuses, is a bit too much. So if it can be scaled down to, in the British curriculum, the Cambridge curriculum has only 3 core subjects: maths, English, and science. These are the only ones that are tested at checkpoint year 6 and checkpoint year 9. But you see now CBC, we test all the subjects, which now becomes a bit heavy. So we're heading in the right direction. We just need to keep making improvements on our systems.
Yes. And still, I'm pushed or moving towards trying to understand if this thing is affordable to every Kenyan. Is it something that every Kenyan can access? All the changing trends in education, can they be accessible to someone who is in the rural areas of the country? Still a conversation you need to have for another day.
Okay.
But thank you so much, Mr. Sitati, for coming in today. I really appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
I love the work you're doing. As we wrap it up, you are the director of Laser Learning Hub.
True.
Is it an online platform?
No, Laser Learning Hub is a physical center where we are in Kilimani, along Demi Road. Here, we normally offer tuitions, we offer homeschooling. We also offer music training because I'm a music trainer.
Thank you.
So everyone is welcome.
Asante. You do music?
Yes, I do music. I'm a music trainer for many years.
Do you play an instrument?
I play 5.
Thank you so much. And that is Oscar Sitati, the director of Laser Learning Hub. And it has been a pleasure being with you. And of course, I hope you've learned something concerning the changing trends in education. I sure have, because these are the education trends that will affect your children together with those that we expect to have in the future. And of course, it has been a pleasure being with you. It's a wrap on my end, but Good Morning Kenya still continues. Doreen Arange is coming up next with the Family Check. This is KBC Channel 1. Let's take a short break. We'll be back in a bit.